Well, you were not attacked by her out there, so, all right, we will, no, I mean, you're gonna, all right, we're gonna allow the 10-minute presentation as requested. Per Bob Oates, our city attorney, that it is in order, and the mayor did nothing wrong. Councilman Mumpower.
I appreciate your support, Mayor and Council. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about partisan versus nonpartisan elections, reconsidering a step backwards. As I'll share in my presentation, I believe partisan elections are a bad idea, poorly implemented, and regressive in nature. This issue deserves our best efforts toward reconsideration. Some quick whys: Asheville is only one of less than a dozen cities. I think the correct number is more like 5 or 6 out of 500 plus in North Carolina that now have partisan elections. We are on the losing side of this issue. Recent petition efforts have demonstrated the unrealistic hurdles created for independent third-party candidates. We've had an organized, diverse body who've been able to achieve about 2,500 or so, give or take, signatures toward a public referendum, and they've struggled. When you put one candidate up against getting 2,400 signatures, I think it's an impossible hurdle with rare exception. Partisan elections are about division and power. We see the failure of this approach at the state and federal level and do not need to duplicate models of failure, especially without constructive purpose. The impact: we realistically eliminate the independent and third-party candidates from consideration and impair minority candidates. We accelerate community polarization and division without positive compensating benefit. We dramatically restrict the balance, diversity, and creative perspective of the council. We further discourage voter enthusiasm. In direct challenge to those who supported partisan elections, I would like to say, you have orchestrated an election that directly impacts on 2 of you who are running for office this cycle. You have created an impossible timeline for obtaining a petition.
Councilman Mumpower, I think that...
It's not personal, Mayor.
Okay, I'm being called upon to point out a couple of things. One, focus on the referendum, and more so than...
I am, Mayor.
I'd appreciate that if we could focus more on a referendum.
You have created an impossible timeline for obtaining a petition, either for a referendum or a candidate. You've embraced power politics under the guise of public good. The community, from all political perspectives, note your true priority. What can we do? We can recognize that the majority vote started with an error in process. The 90-day requirement to change parties meant it was too late for this election to ever be fair, a fair time to implement this initiative. By the time we put this in place, the law requires that folks who want to change parties have to have 90 days. They couldn't have 90 days because we implemented the law too late. We have a need. Let's find a way to either hold a public referendum this coming year or postpone implementation until the next election cycle, or reverse our course altogether, or maybe there are creative options that other members of this body and staff can help us craft. I'd like to make a personal statement.
And Councilman Mumpower, just as a point of order, whenever a presentation is made before Asheville City Council, the presentation is given at a certain time, and the mayor reviews it. I did not review what you presented here, which creates, I got to be fair. What you presented, if you could focus on what you presented, I'd appreciate it. So if we could keep the personal statement to when you get up here as a council member, please, it will help me out. I'm trying to work
Mayor,
with you.
I'd love to help you out, but I think you're restricting my ability to speak openly and candidly, and I think that's important to this issue.
No, I think that I'm trying to get you to adhere to the guidelines that are usually in place, but somehow tonight they're not. This presentation doesn't line up with what you normally do. What you normally do is we have a PowerPoint that's here, the same as here.
Mayor, I respectfully do not believe we have a precedence, and if we do, it's certainly been violated
we're on the
way
same
before
side of the issue. Is you're just making it hard for me, Carl. I mean,
I regret that, Mayor, but I think
so
I'm going to have to.
Can you sum it up, keeping in
about
mind that what we have here, that everybody at home can see, is different from what you have here. And that's something that we will fix in the future. Anybody makes a presentation before City Council, especially doing PowerPoint, are supposed to have it to Keisha at a certain, Miss Lifer at a certain time.
Be happy to honor that going forward, Mayor. My pleasure to do so.
And so if we could...
In speed reading that, there's nothing that has to do with public referendum in that.
With your permission, I'll go ahead and complete my presentation. I do not believe it is in the principal interest of any political party or this governing body to support any
Councilman
initiative...
Mumpower, come on, Carl.
Mayor, if you're going to censor me, Mayor, I'll go
I'm
ahead
not
and sit
censoring you.
down.
I'm asking you to follow procedures, and that has nothing to do with the referendum. You're saying your personal views.
Then, Mayor, you
I
should
would-
have stopped me from making the entire presentation, not censor individual comments that you're not comfortable with in my presentation.
You know, Carl,
I'll be accountable for
Councilman
this.
Mumpower, I'm trying to be respectful of the process, and this, maybe I'll speak to the community. This is not an easy issue on either side. It's not my job, my desire to make any council member feel censored or anything, but you have overstepped my ability to kind of defend what you're doing. I can't do it. I mean...
I don't need you to defend me, Mayor. I need you to allow me to do what I have a right to
Well,
do.
how about this? I'm going to rule it out of order and ask that you come up here and whatever you have to say as a council member sitting up here that's different from over there. And Carl, you know the procedures. I mean...
No, ma'am. I don't think there is a procedure for this.
It is
I
for,
would
not
never-
for this subject, but for presentations before City
I
Council.
would never knowingly violate a procedure. You've allowed me to continue until I got to a point you're not comfortable with, and then you're stopping me.
No, it's just, you've gone so far, I can't defend what you're saying.
I've just begun.
It's out of order. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is we have a procedure. You're not adhering to it, so I'm asking you to wrap it up.
I would like to, if you'd allow me to continue.
Councilman Mumpower, I've ruled it, and...
Mayor, would you provide that written procedure for me, or would our attorney provide that procedure for me? If you can show it to me, I'll be happy to adhere to it. There's no intention on my part to violate any procedures this evening.
And I think, Ms. Light, anytime a presentation is given or requested by City Council, we ask for it in advance.
This may be a subjective policy that you've begun on your own, but it's nothing that I've seen in writing, nothing that we've discussed before.
We've discussed it almost every time. Okay,
Please excuse my
Councilman
lapse in
Mumpower,
memory.
I can't, I mean, of course, as the one who has the gavel, I could gavel you down, but there's no need for that. I can't make you sit down.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your graciousness, and with your permission, I'll finish.
You don't have my permission, but I can't make you sit down. I mean, I could,
Okay.
but I can see that on YouTube as well.
Please,
I mean,
please make your choice. Please make your choice. Please make your choice and allow me to finish
I
your
did,
comment.
and I'm just going to say, you know, you're a grown man, and you're elected by people. And as mayor, I'm ruling it out of order. And I'm not going to, I mean, I've said what I had to say. And
Okay.
your
Thank you,
disrespect for me is obvious, so
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
It's not a lawsuit. It's not a disrespect, Mayor. It's a commitment to seeing this issue through with all the enthusiasm and ability I can. I do not believe it is in the principal interest of any political party of this party or this governing body to support any initiative that disenfranchises independent and third-party candidates at any level. There are many who believe that independents and third parties represent the future of the country, and to support any obstacles to seeking office in Asheville, such as the unrealistic petitions now required, violates all standards of fair play that are to be found in our best efforts as a community. I would be ashamed to belong to any governing body, organized party, or personal initiative that intentionally stepped over these boundaries of principle and fairness. Which way do we go? Plan A, success for the good folks trying to get the signatures necessary for a public referendum. They are to be commended for their effort. Plan B, find a way for this body to get this issue on as a public referendum or otherwise reverse our course. Excuse the misspelled word. Plan C, for the public to hold the members of this council who supported partisan elections directly accountable this November so that a new majority may reverse their actions in December. It's my pleasure to make this presentation. I appreciate the opportunity. I look forward to spirited debate as we go forward. Thank you.
All right. And before we open this